I have 5 more life hacks for Redstone Bedrock that I want to show you guys. The 5 here, there isn't an extra one because, you know, I could barely think of 5. I kind of regret using an extra 6th one last video. I had to kind of double up on this one, to be honest. But let's get into it. Anyway, let's get into the first one. I just wanted to quickly say thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, subscribe. I notice every time that counter goes up, even if it's by 1 subscriber, and it gives me a little dopamine kick when I see it go up. So if you want to make me happy for a little bit, press the red button. I really do appreciate it and notice it. For number 1, we have torch burnout clocks, and everyone knows what they are, but in Bedrock, and I'm not sure if it works in Java, it might, in Bedrock you can trigger them in a really weird way. You know, you can do the average, you know, turning it on and then turning it off, and then it'll burn it out for about 8 ticks. But you can also activate it with just, you know, updating a block next to it. So if we turn this piston on, it starts to go for some reason. If we turn this one on down here, again, it starts to burn out. I've no idea why that is. See, look at that. If you activate it from up here, same thing happens. And then a weird thing is, if you delete a block here, it activates. All you got to do is put a block next to it. Let's see if it does it now. It activates. You got to wait for a bit to activate it again, to be honest. Let's delete that one. It'll activate. Delete it. And I waited. I didn't wait long enough. But if I put a block back there, it'll work. And then if we just wait for a little bit, there we go. Number 2, we have observers looking at various things. And when I turn this switch on, they all observe at the same time because each one of these things turn on at the same time. But if we turn it off, those 2 pistons will go because those turn off at the same time. But this actually waits an extra tick or maybe 2 ticks to turn off. So it has a little bit of a longer pulse. And this can be helpful for doing, you know, really fine timings for like quadruple piston extenders, 3, 4 piston extenders, maybe even 5. But it can come in useful, and it's usually by accident when I do it, because my brain I can't think that fast. But I'll show you again. They all turn on at the same time, but the redstone lamp waits an extra tick. Now for number 3, we kind of have almost a double up, but it's to do with repeaters. If you want to like control the timings of the observers a lot more than just, you know, a lamp being 1 tick slower, you put the observer next to a repeater. And so this is set to 3 ticks, this is set to 1 tick, and this one is 4 ticks. And if we flick this on, if I can get the switch, I'll do it from over here. Look at the pistons. They go up in a wave because this one turns off quicker, so the observer will observe it quicker, and so on. This will be the longest because it's on the longest tick, so the observer observes it last. And a cool thing with these is you can actually put a repeater right on an observer, and they can observe it from every side of the repeater except the side it gets power from. So there's a repeater in here, by the way. I'll show you. Look at that repeater right there. Let's put the observer back. Let's come around here, and they all activate because you can observe it from 5 different sides, not the 6th side because you need to power it from there. And you can have an observer on a line of redstone like this, and that will activate the thingy, the piston. You can actually put redstone on the observer, but you can't really control its timing that well because redstone, it activates when redstone activates, I guess. Now, the 4th one may seem obvious, but I'm surprised with how many people don't actually know it. If you don't want slime blocks to stick, so if we turn either of these pistons on, they're not gonna work because the collective is over the 12 block limit. If we delete one, then it'll work. See, they all stick to each other, even the piston that isn't extended. And yeah, it works like that. But as soon as it goes over 13 blocks, let's get the slime block out, it won't go. So if you wanna change that, let's put these things on here. They don't stick to honey blocks, and they don't stick to obsidian, and they don't stick to terracotta, glazed terracotta blocks. They don't stick to any of those. So if I press these buttons, they'll both activate separately. And for the fifth and final one, it's 2 piston extenders. So look at this. If we have it, and we're using the repeater thing from before, just like I said, it's a nice 2 piston extender. But the thing is, sticky pistons and normal pistons can't move pistons that have been extended. And this can be see, it doesn't pull it back. This can be very annoying when trying to figure out the timings for these things. If I do that, then it'll pull it back and, happy days. But as soon as that's extended, so if I do this, flick that on, do that, it'll extend, and now it's not going to be pulled back. And this is the same for normal pistons. See how this is extended? You're not going to be able to push it. If I retract that, then you're going to be able to push it, and now it doesn't come back because that's a normal piston. And the same for sticky pistons. Nothing's happening. If I do that, if I turn it off, it pushed it because that was on, and now we can move it. So, get the timings right on piston extenders and doors that need pistons, because it's very annoying when the timings aren't correct.